I came prepared.
As you should. I hope so.
I tried my hardest. This is rare that I'm actually this prepared. Honestly, this is the most I think I've prepped for an interview.
Why?
Because I wanted to make sure, the Summer House people really care about Summer House, like the fans. And so I want to make sure I'm asking the questions that like they care about. And also, you have to remember, like, I'm not a lifelong Summer House person.
Yeah.
I binged season 2 to 8 a few months ago.
True.
So, like, it is fresh to me, but then I forget, like, where did we leave off?
I forget about the whole Summer House thing. I thought we were doing this because we're friends.
We are.
What do you mean Summer House?
But actually, and we're going. I did get so many messages being like, I just feel like you guys have to know each other. What's the story? And I'm like, oh, we do.
We do.
So
we most certainly
the
do.
lore goes way back.
Yeah.
I just remember when Summer House came out, all of my friends one day texting me being like, why the fuck does Amanda Batula follow you? And I was like, why the fuck do you know who Amanda Batula is? Like, what? And it's because I had the great honor of being very close with girls from your like group of friends.
2 of my best friends.
Yeah, especially close with 2 of them, but also like Nicolette, Alexa, like everyone. So many of them played on our team.
Yeah.
We all played lacrosse together, minus Amanda. But I knew you as Batula.
Yeah.
Like for years.
Yes.
And then here you are.
And I knew you as Cammy.
Like, I know. Well, people still call me Cammy. Okay. We talked about this, didn't we, the other night? Like, people absolutely still call me Cammy. So, yes, we've known each other for years, but we haven't spent, like, ample time together. Like, I used to come to some of the parties and stuff.
Yeah. But you were doing lacrosse with the girls, and I was just doing my own thing. Not doing lacrosse. Because I got cut freshman year, but that's a whole different story.
But I feel like I always, like, knew what was happening in your life because of DeLuca and Tina. Shout out to the 2 amazing girls who I love with my whole heart. But I want to chat, obviously, about Summer House, but really about, like, your journey, specifically mental health, the swim line, like, all of the amazing things you're doing.
All the things.
So by the time this airs, the new season will have released.
Yep.
What can we expect this season? And like watching everyone in the house and this summer, like what's in store for us?
Yeah. So I feel like we slightly grew up a little bit.
Okay.
Like for the first time in 9 years. And I think mostly has to do with Lindsay being pregnant.
That was going to be my question.
But this summer, it's like there's still drama. It's different in a good way, is what I keep saying. It's not the same old like necessarily fighting and big blowouts, but there's a lot of just like drama and arguments and things that need to be hashed out throughout the whole summer. But the best part for me was how close the girls got this summer.
I love that because I feel like they ended on a good-ish note at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And it maintained.
Yes, last season it was, it was okay and, reunion and stuff, but I feel like this summer we really got close. Like something was just different. And I give it all to Lindsay being pregnant.
I was going to say, I can't imagine. I have so many questions for Lindsay herself. I can't imagine being pregnant in a shared house with your ex.
She was amazing.
And you feel like that really changed the vibe in a sense?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like we felt protective of her. All of a sudden, like we were all pregnant with Lindsay. Like there was this sense of, I don't know, like sheltering her and protecting her and being there for her because she's just pregnant by herself in the house with her ex. And I don't know. It was interesting that her bringing, a baby essentially into the house really brought us all girls together.
I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
To watch.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
Because there is this like, especially when it's your first friend in that group, there is this camaraderie, and also the situation is unique.
Yeah. And people know that we all haven't been like super close over the years, but we are a family. Like going through this show together, we have a bond that nobody else will ever understand. So even when we're fighting or no matter how close we are, like we just have we've lived a different life experience. Yeah. So there's always this, I don't know, this different sort of relationship. So having her be pregnant almost felt like my sister was pregnant.
I get that.
Versus a friend.
I mean, I don't think anyone could ever understand what you all experience.
The trauma.
No, it's a true trauma bond, honestly.
It really is.
Like, yes, sure, the show, I think in and of itself is a unique experience to like live somewhere and be filmed that whole time.
Yeah.
But then like the publicity of it all and the like lashback and all of everyone's commentary, that has to be a lot to undergo. And I think that there is a kind of trauma bond there with the camaraderie around her pregnancy, and also like Wes and Sierra being exes. Was it ever like a divide between boys and girls?
For sure. And we love it that way. I feel like it's that way every summer. We
No
prefer the divide. Girls roll, boys roll. We like let them do their own thing half the time. You're like, you guys are a bunch of idiots.
We had a dinner the other night for my husband's birthday, and there were like 16 of us. And I looked at him and I was like, can we just do boys side of the table, girls side of the table? Because
every time I'm out to dinner,
if there are too many people, otherwise you can't. Like, if it's a group of 5, of course, or 6, fine. But with that many people, you're never going to talk to the girl at the other side of the table. And that's who I want to talk to, not like my friend's husband.
The girls and I from high school or from whatever, Hillsborough, we went out to dinner around Thanksgiving, and literally all the girls were on one side and all the husbands were on the other side.
That's how I want
We were like, you guys need to figure it out. We just want to talk to each other.
Yes.
You guys don't even have to come. You're lucky we invited you.
Literally, like, I don't care if you're here or not.
Yeah. We could survive the whole summer without the boys.
The other side, the other thing in terms of last summer, like, there was a lot of nitpicky fights between you and Kyle of just like, I understand, like, getting annoyed. What is in store for you guys in the season we're about to see?
We had one of our best summers yet. And amazing. I give a lot of that to, well, Kyle changing some things, but also the antidepressants. I feel like I was in such like a weird, dark place. I just wasn't happy in life, not with anything specifically. So that really transpired into, you know, affecting my relationship and how I just behaved with everyone in anything that would happen. It just seemed like such a much more bigger deal. And this year, just I'm like, whatever.
It is what it is. I want to get into the mental health, but I also am just curious, like, personally, being in the public eye and like a public relationship, is it so insanely annoying?
The worst.
The commentary, even like I felt like I want to ask because it's part of the storyline and like whatever, but I just imagine it has to be really
it's the worst.
Exhausting.
It's not only is it you're getting other people's opinions constantly, which you can't help but like listen to and have going on in the back of your head. So everyone, you know, constantly being like, they should get divorced, they should have never got married, rumors about us getting divorced, like all this stuff. When you hear something enough times, it makes you start to believe it.
I literally had this conversation with my therapist.
So when everyone's telling me that I should not be with Kyle and that like we shouldn't be together and we should get divorced and we should have never got married, that's just constantly playing in the back of my head, and it's hard to drown that out. So we would get into like arguments or stuff, and you kind of get like hyped up by the internet being like, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be together. Yeah. And it's like, what am I saying?
Well, also, A, no relationship is perfect.
No.
B, imagine what I would love to tell all of these people is if like we had cameras in your relationship 24/7, what the whole world would think.
Yes.
I think about this a lot, and I talk about it with my therapist because I think we all have a small like critical voice in our head, however loud it is. And the hardest thing for me, not nearly being as public as you, but being public facing, is when you see the hate, even if you're not searching for it. Like, I'm not actively searching, but all of a sudden I see a DM and I'm like, oh shit.
It has so much more weight.
Well, it starts to give that critical voice power.
Yeah.
And an actual voice, because now it's not like, oh, this was just a thought I had. I'm like, oh, that person thinks it.
Like,
and
oh,
that
you see
person
it too.
thinks it. Right. And it's really confusing to work through, that I don't, obviously not everyone can relate to, but I imagine it goes even farther when it's then your relationship.
Yeah, it's like one insecurity and someone else calls it out, and it's like, oh my God, it's not in my head.
Right. Yeah.
Like, shit, what do I do now?
And
oh my God, other
what?
people think it too. The relationship thing it's really tough, and it's just really disappointing. I feel like it's made our relationship so much more difficult and complicated because I'm constantly having to fight like the voices on the internet.
Right. I mean, do you know who Mel Robbins is?
I don't think so.
Okay, she's like an inspirational speaker. She has this new book out called The Let Them Theory, and it's been life-changing for me. You should really listen to it.
Okay.
I'm listening to it on Audible because that's how I prefer. I only read like porn books, romance, and fantasy. So if I'm doing self-help, I have to listen to it. And the whole concept is like, let people think honestly whatever they want.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't actually, it's so much easier said than done, but letting that power go and just like, you're allowed to think what you want, and that's your opinion of me, and your opinion of me is honestly none of my business, which is easier said than done when they're making it your business.
Yeah. It's all about practicing it. And I feel like after 9 years of doing this, I finally got to that point. And again, I give a lot of credit to my antidepressants. I see things differently. I understand things. I take them all in differently. So I'm finally sort of able to let people's opinions be their opinions. And I think that had a big effect on our relationship too.
Yeah. I know protein is really big right now, and everyone's talking about how you should be getting more protein and how important it is and all of those things. But honestly, for me, it is so wildly important. I notice so clearly if I'm not eating enough protein in my diet, because when I go between meals, if I don't have enough protein in the meal prior or even a snack, I turn into such a hangry, like loony, insane, irritable, anxious, buzzing version of myself. It's as if I am just like buzzing with this anxiety and irritability that I can't pass until I eat. And I also just like can't eat every hour of the day. Therefore, I need to prioritize protein and make sure that when I am eating, I'm getting enough protein in my diet. And I eat breakfast like first thing with the boys. It's the first thing I do. Typically, I'm making a smoothie of sorts, or I'm having like eggs or something with a bagel, whatever. But I am always a like mid-morning snack girl. I just need something before I get to lunch. And what I have been reaching for lately is my Premier protein shake. It is so delicious. Let me tell you, they have a variety of flavors for everyone. There are so many options. I am like such a classic person where I go vanilla or chocolate. Those are my two favorites. But I love them because they have 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. Like, that is an incredible protein-packed snack for me. I also love, and I think I made like a TikTok about this, but the option of making a like protein-packed coffee of sorts, because coffee is something that if I'm drinking it, I need to also be eating something that has protein in it alongside it. Otherwise, I'm a jittery mess. And the video I made on this was when I was out about grabbing a coffee, but you can also do this at home. Specifically, if you're getting an iced coffee, get it in a larger cup than you need and don't fill it up all the way with the iced coffee. And then you pour in the Premier protein shake, and it makes this like delicious coffee protein packed latte of sorts, because the shake fills the need of like the milk or the creamer or whatever you're using. And it's delicious. Like, let me tell you, this will bring your coffee habit to the next level. If you're not a like protein shake grab and go on the girl, I get it. They also have an incredible protein powder if you want to make your own protein smoothie. I am big on smoothies in the morning. I love to do spinach, banana, avocado. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, it makes it so creamy. Peanut butter, yogurt, a little blueberries, some chia seeds, some flax seeds, and some Premier protein powder. Either way, Premier Protein has you covered. You guys can visit premierprotein.com and go to where to buy to find a retailer near you, or to find where to buy online. Premier Protein, sweeten the journey. But what has your journey with mental health been like? Because I know I don't know, 2 summers ago, not season 8. I'll just go by season. You opened up at the reunion that you had been struggling with depression and that antidepressants were really helping you. Is that something you've always struggled with, or was that like out of nowhere? I
think, I didn't realize it until like January or February of that year. So a few months before that reunion aired. It does run in my family, so it is genetic. I think what sort of set it off was, and I didn't realize this at the time, but was like the post-wedding blues that people talk about. I think I crashed so hard, I never really bounced back from it, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and I didn't realize it. And then it was, 2023, that fall, I almost didn't go home for Thanksgiving. And I always, like, Kyle and I don't even spend the holidays together, right, because
Thanksgiving
we
in Jersey
love our families. Yeah. So my parents were calling me being like, when are you coming home? And I was like, I don't think I can do it. Like, I don't think I can pack. It's too much. Like, the dogs, like, and I'm like crying on the phone. I'm like, I'm just going to stay in the city. Like, I was fully prepared to miss out on my family's Thanksgiving because the thought of getting ready to go home was so overwhelming. I would just rather like be on the couch by myself and like ignoring everything on the outside. So that sort of made me realize like, oh shit, I think I need help.
Yeah. Something's not normal here for me.
And the other thing was, and I've never like said this out loud, but I was like okay with the idea of just like dying. Like not suicidal, nothing like that. But I was like, oh, like if I got in a car crash, like
okay with it ending.
Yeah, which was weird because I've never felt that way. I was like okay with like life just being done. And that was bizarre. And I was like, okay, yeah.
I can relate to the moment of like, I had it more so with postpartum, but just wanting to kind of, again, nothing suicidal, but it was like, okay, in the darkness and being like, I'm okay just being here and like not doing almost like just like melting into this couch and maybe disappearing.
Yeah, like not existing outside of, you know, these four walls. I like fully accepted just, you know, never seeing the sunlight again.
And what forced you or what helped you get help?
I was just feeling so lost, and I think my relationship was like really taking a beating because I was just a shell of myself. Yeah. I wasn't even there like mentally, emotionally, like wasn't getting off the couch, was like sleeping all the time, and I was like, I have things to do. Like I can't continue to live like this. But I also couldn't get myself to go see a doctor. No, but that's very real. Very real. It's a like big hurdle. Yeah. So I went on, and I went on hers. Okay. Yeah. And I filled out like the questionnaire thinking that they would be like, oh, you're fine. It was like, you have severe depression. Yes. And I was like, okay. So those quizzes. Yeah. I was like, here, we're going to send you this. And I was like, all right, I'll try taking that. But yeah, I did not think it was going to tell me that I was like severely depressed. When you started the medication, did you not immediately, but did you start to really realize, because I always feel like when you come out of it, you realize how dark it really was. Yes. And you look back, like I feel so protective over myself in those windows because I don't think I realized how bad it was like, until I reached the other side. I want to go back and like hug that girl. Same. And like try to help her all the time. Out. Yeah. It's like making me emotional. Like I was just really in a really dark place, and like just taking that little tiny pill changed my whole world. Same. And I had to change my medication because you know the first one's not always the right one. Yep. But and I see a doctor now, but taking that first step, just like filling out that questionnaire online and getting that tiny little pill did enough for me to get me to help myself even more. And that's why I talked about at the reunion. And I'm in such a better place now than I was when we filmed the reunion, which is crazy because I thought I was in such a better place at the reunion than I was 4 months before that. Stones almost. Yeah. So like I'm just constantly getting better every day, every month. I mean, I'm doing things. I have the swimsuit line. You see me on the internet more. I'm on. You're like, leaving Instagram. The house. I'm outside all the time. I'm here. I'm doing this. Right. Like I'm proud of you. You know, thank you. A lot of the things that I wasn't doing, I think wasn't because I was like, oh, I'm just, I'm a lazy girl. I don't want to do that. It's because I was depressed and I didn't really realize it. What other things are you doing to like support your mental health? Are you actively doing other things? Are you looking for things? No, I'm just trying to find anything that like brings me joy and not do the things that I don't want to. So anything that it used to be like saying no was so hard and it would eat me alive and I knew I didn't want to do it. But I'm just trying to say like yes and no to things right away and not like put things off. I'm trying to just be better because a lot of what I also deal with is like anxiety and feeling overwhelmed. And the biggest thing is when I put it off, I'm anxious about that thing I'm putting off. And then once I get it done, I'm like, oh, that wasn't bad. So I'm really working on just doing, like, instead of reading the text and not responding, which I'm still guilty of sometimes. I literally texted Katie and I was like, so Amanda's not answering me. She's like, I'm her best friend. She doesn't answer me. Don't worry. I was like, okay. Katie will send me like 50 texts being like, hello. I don't think I can do that to you yet, but I'll get there. Yes, but I'm getting better about responding now. So I'm trying to respond in the moment, and I'll catch myself reading a text, putting my phone down, and then being like, you know what? Let me just text them back and just like getting it done with. Emails, no,
that's separate.
I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. But yeah, I'm just trying to like do things because that anxiety, I think, of all the stuff I had to get done or places I had to be or appointments I had to schedule was also weighing on me so much and was a huge factor in like feeling depressed and just not. I felt like if I couldn't do this, then I can't do anything else. Like if I can't text this person back, I can't text anyone back because that's rude to that person. You know, if I'm not going to answer this email, I shouldn't answer any of them. If I'm not going to hang out with this person, I shouldn't hang out with anyone. So, and that also, you know, made me spiral. And then I was like alone. I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't doing anything.
Right. And then
going
it gets
anywhere.
Deeper and deeper.
Yeah. So a big thing for me is trying to be more present and responding, even if it's saying like, no, I can't do that.
Did you have people, I mean, I know we saw in last season in like the Old Navy scene, the infamous scene of Paige and Sierra being like, we don't recognize this version of you. Like, I wish you believed in yourself. Like, we believe in you. Did you have other people in your life kind of coming to you being like, hey, how can we help? Or
I have like the best like circle and group of friends and family around me. I think people recognized something was off, but no one really knew how to help. You know, I had a phone call with one of my best friends from college, and she could like sense that I was struggling, didn't know how to help. And I just like opened up to her one day, and, you know, she was like, I'm here for you. Like, I know that you've been off. Like, I've been, you know, very patient because I would ghost people. You know, I wouldn't hang out. I wouldn't talk to them. And same with Katie. You know, I had a lot of friends that you don't know how to approach the subject, you know? And I think Sierra and Paige putting it in a perspective of more like being confident in myself and instead of it being like, you're not yourself, like you're depressed, was also eye-opening. I was like, okay, I'm not believing in myself enough and I'm being really hard on myself for no reason.
What was that like to receive real time and then also to rewatch like months later?
Incredible. Like it made me emotional. I feel so grateful to have especially those two girls as friends in my life. They're literally like, I look up to them just with the drive, and they deal with their own issues too.
Right.
So just to have them having my back and being so supportive and pushing me to be the best version of myself, I feel so lucky. So hearing Sierra say out loud that, like, I forget exactly what she said now, but something about like, do you feel like you have, like, who are you outside of Kyle and Loverboy? Yeah. Because I've had that thought internally for years. Like, who, if Kyle and I got a divorce and I didn't have Loverboy anymore, like, what would I be? Who would I be? And I felt like no one. I felt like nothing. So for her to say it out loud, people gave her a hard time about that.
Really?
But she was just saying out loud what I had been thinking for a really long time.
I thought it was a great friend way of approaching something and being honest.
People who gave her a hard time don't have good friends.
Yeah, I mean,
they have friends that are lying to their faces.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not being honest with them. So that was incredible.
And then what about rewatching it in that moment? Because at that point, and I have many questions about rewatching in general, but like that specific scene, at that point, had you felt like you were in a better place, and when you rewatched it, you were even more grateful?
Yes. I think I had just started. I don't even know if I was on my antidepressants at the time watching that back, or if I just started. But it was still just as moving. Okay. I don't know if I just started or wasn't on it, but I knew watching it back, it just reminded me that, like, I wanted to do more with my life. Right. I didn't want to be stuck here anymore. I didn't want to be doing nothing. I didn't want to be spiraling, thinking about, like, who am I? What is next for me? And it really gave me another kick in the ass to, like, okay, you have to do something. Do something with your life.
And, well, you're doing things with your life, to be very, very fair to you. But now what you're creating, I'm so excited for. The swim line. Yes. I would love to hear, like, how it all started. I know it's something that you had hinted at being interested in. Yeah. And, like, I loved the scene of Paige where her and Kyle are yelling, but she's like, let her try, let her fail. Yes. Like, let her do what she wants to do. How has it been going?
It's been great. They had reached out to me because, again, I wasn't in a place where I was, like, doing a lot of things. And it just seemed like a perfect fit. It wasn't a collaboration with an existing brand. it wasn't me starting something from the ground up. It was working with a team that had experience in swim that wanted to help me build this brand. But and it's sold exclusively in their stores. So I was like, okay, this is amazing. You do all the stuff that I don't have the capacity to research or do. I'll do the stuff that like I'm passionate about.
Right.
We'll come together and build this awesome brand. And that's what we've been doing. And we've been going through so many fittings because the focus for me is finding swim that fits better. I have larger natural boobs, and I feel
so
like
jealous now.
I'm buying
breastfeeding.
No, I want them to go away so badly. I'm like, I want
to be careful what you wish for, because they won't only go away, the shape will dramatically change.
I'm okay with that.
Call me in a few years.
Okay, I will. But there were so many times where I'm buying like a size large and it doesn't fit anywhere else.
Right.
So, or it just like, it's large, but it's not fitting the right way. I don't know.
It's not flattering.
So yeah, so I wanted to make something that was more supportive and flattering and was like the cute styles that everyone else wears, but fit right, that you don't have to alter. A lot more adjustability. One thing that I'm really excited about is we're doing this like hidden underwire in some of our tops. Cool. So it looks like the cute stuff that everyone else is wearing, but there's a little bit more support and shape within it. So you could wear those like fun styles and not feel like you're spilling out or like your boobs are a weird shape. And it's not like too loose, and you have the right support everywhere. So yeah, it'll be a work in progress. We'll have a lot to learn after like the first and second drop, but I'm really excited to see where it goes.
I'm so excited. Well, when this episode releases, it will have dropped yesterday.
Yeah, hopefully there's no more left.
Hopefully, yeah, exactly. Hopefully it's sold out. So, sign up for the back in stock.
The rest, whatever's left, please buy it.
And what has that creative process felt like you? Did it give you that joy of like having something for yourself and the drive of like getting up almost?
It did exactly what I hoped it would do, which was get me out of bed.
Yeah.
And not that I didn't love, and I still love what I do for Loverboy. It just became more about mine and Kyle's relationship working in the business.
Right.
And I felt like we needed to have a little bit of a separation and not work together day to day. Because there ended up being resentment there, too.
Of course.
And that's not what we wanted. So to be able to work on something that he was not a part of helped both of us so much. And he was able to like give feedback for Loverboy and his brand, and I was able to give feedback for the swim line, and we weren't like offended with whatever our opinions were.
I also think, not to put words in his mouth, but it was probably also enjoyable to observe you do something that like lights you up and have something for yourself. Just based on the conversations we saw in last season.
So
like, I know your relationship.
Like, I've been in your house. I actually set up a camera and I've been watching you for the past
Little do you know,
in preparation for this. No, I think he didn't understand what I needed, and now that he sees the change, like, he's so much happier in the relationship too. Like, because I was in such a dark place, we were in a dark place.
Of course, it's not easy to be in a marriage or a relationship with anyone when someone's in a dark place.
And not that like I'm giving him any grace, but I felt like I was lost. I didn't exist. Like, I was nothing. And I was that also absent in our relationship too.
Right.
Like, I wasn't the person that he married. I wasn't that same. He didn't know what to do, how to help. He was a problem solver. I was like, you can't solve my problems by like telling me to go shower. Yeah. No,
it's hard. It's something I literally conversed with my husband this morning about, because I'm going through like a bit of a anxious spell, and he's like, I'm trying to help you, and like it's so fucking hard, and then you start to feel guilty because it's like I put this on their plate,
and I almost want to it's tough, and they want to help, and there's so much that they want to do, and I'm just like, you can't. Like, the best thing you can do, I would try to tell him, like, just leave me alone for a little bit, or like just don't remind me of things that I have to get done, because that makes it worse for me. Like, I'm already overwhelmed with everything that I need to do. Like, just stop reminding me of it. It's not helpful. There was a lot of like coaching, but we're in such a better place now because I'm so much happier. Good. So it just brought more like life and light into our relationship, and we're able to just like have conversations and talk about normal things, and it doesn't seem so heavy anymore.
you mentioned Loverboy. What is your current role and involvement in the brand right now?
So I'm basically oversee the creative, like the big projects from the beginning. So we're coming out with a new margarita. Fun. So I'm very hands-on in the packaging design and the flavors. And then when we launched Loverboy, I was very hands-on in the naming and the branding and the flavors. So like anything that's happening for the first time, I'm a part of. I'm signing off on. After that, it's in the team's hand to like continue. Okay. So I'm not doing the day-to-day. I'm just really doing the new big projects and then focusing on my own.
It's exciting.
Thing. Yeah.
I love Loverboy, and I have to ask, I'm sure you get this a lot. Was it a nod to Lindsay and Carl asking Kyle to be a flower boy?
So it was, yes, it was a perfect recipe. So obviously like weed, flower,
right? Yes.
Loverboy, flower boy, and then the whole thing happened with
it was asking too good him to be, not
it
to.
It was just lined up perfectly. It was like if we don't take this opportunity to call it flower boy, we're missing the mark.
Absolutely.
So everything just came together. I had to convince Kyle to call it flower boy.
It's so good.
Flower is marijuana.
Right.
It's like these are like that's what people call it, flower. It was like you have to call it flower boy. He wanted to call it like high boy. I was like, no.
The writing's on the wall.
High boy?
Well, also technically that's what cans is.
Yeah.
The 10 milligram they call high boys.
Oh, well, there you go.
So you couldn't have even done it anyway.
That.
You can tell them that. Okay, well, we've talked a bit about your relationship with Kyle and like where it is now. What is the status of Jersey? Are you coming to join me?
Eventually. I say with or without Kyle, I'm going to New Jersey.
Just come be my neighbor.
Yes. No, I'll move in.
I would love to have you. Truly. Just no cameras.
Yeah, no, of course. I don't want them in my house either. No, I think once we are ready to start a family, we will move to the suburbs to New Jersey. That's ultimately where I want to end up. But we're not in any rush. I think right now that I'm happier, I thought moving to New Jersey, having backyard, being able to like drink a Corona, on my porch was going to solve all my problems. But really I was just depressed. So I was very focused on like having a house. I thought that was going to make me so much happier. I still want a house. I still want to move to the suburbs, but with where my career is going and the opportunities that I have, I'm very content living in the city right now.
That's great.
Because I'm not about to travel.
Let me tell you.
No,
I did 4 days this week, and I'm doing 4 next week. It's
with
too many.
2 kids, yes.
It's a journey. It's a ride and a half.
Yeah, you're crushing
it takes a village.
I give you a lot of credit for that because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay here. Because convenience.
That's so fair and valid and like good to know, honestly, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where like you're finally in a good place, you move, and then you're like, well, I'm not leaving the home.
Yeah.
But I will say when you're ready, it's so nice.
No, we'll come
to
visit.
Like be off the train and you have a yard. Please come visit.
No, I have to get Kyle into different towns in New Jersey so he understands that they're not all like Hillsborough.
Yeah. Hillsborough is great, but it's not.
But it's not happening.
The vibe, lively,
He wants more of like a downtown and like whatever. He's like, your downtown is off the highway. You can't walk around. I'm like, you can. It's just a little dangerous.
Just I wouldn't recommend it, but you could.
There is a sidewalk, but you probably shouldn't.
I know. It's also far.
Yeah.
Well, you'll end up near me, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, we'll be near the city because we'll still end up, commuting for stuff. But right now.
Right.
We're sticking to New York.
In terms of family planning, do you feel, because we're seeing this a lot with Paige and Craig's breakup, and I think it's bullshit, like the narrative of how she had to be the one to move and like her age, like, oh, well, what about kids? Do you guys get that a lot? Like, are you feeling constantly pressured to like start that process even though you don't necessarily want to in this moment?
Constantly, like everywhere. And people aren't doing it on purpose or to be rude, but I'm constantly being asked, like, when are you going to have kids? Or being told, like, you should stop filming and settle down and start a family. I, for the longest time, was, again, focused on my mental health. Like, when I was in that dark of a place to bring life into this world that I couldn't even take care of myself. So to try to take care of something else, knowing how I felt in that moment, I was like, this isn't healthy for me.
Wouldn't have been a good idea.
Yeah. And I know that, it happens postpartum, but to be such a shell of myself, like I was like, I don't want to force anything. So now, you know, I have focused on my mental health, but now I'm happy working on my career. And I think that that's okay right now. You know,
Totally.
Kyle and I are very content. And again, people don't mean it in a rude way, but when you're hearing it from everyone all the time, it got to the point where this summer I was just like, I don't know if I want to have kids anymore.
Yeah.
Because I just want to like shut people up. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know if we've been trying. You don't know if there's something that like I'm, you know, has happened to me or that I'm dealing with that I'm not ready to talk about. So for people to continuously ask is just not right.
No, it's exhausting.
No, the day we got married,
the day you
it was
get
like,
married,
when are you having kids?
the day your first baby pops out of your vagina, when are you having your second? And I'm like, I'm still bleeding from this human.
Like this baby's halfway
nothing's
out of
coming
me right
in.
now.
You think another one's coming out?
No,
it's really, really crazy.
And I know that it's coming from a good place, and people are just
for the most part, but not always. We can also acknowledge that it's not always coming from a good place.
Very true. But I feel like when it's, you know, your inner circle too, people are just excited.
Yes, when it's your inner circle, it's usually coming from a good place. Absolutely.
They're just excited, but having to talk about it continuously on the show, and it felt like every summer I'm changing my mind. I just gave up on timelines. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, no one does.
I could get pregnant when we're not trying. I could get, you know, not pregnant when we are. Like, who knows what's going to happen? It's going to happen when it happens. And
I think Lindsay showed us that.
Yeah.
That, like, no, fuck the timeline.
Yeah.
No one knows anything.
Yeah. I was like, I think I'm going to freeze my embryos before, you know, we work on having kids so that I have, you know, a plan
The safety.
But
I think I feel like it was last week's episode, and Giggly Squad Paige was saying that I think she's going to do that.
Yeah. At the end of last summer, Lindsay put us on a thread with her doctor.
Oh.
And neither of us responded to it. And she was like, you know what? I think I'm going to freeze my eggs. I was like, I'm going to freeze my embryos.
Are you going to?
I think at some point. I don't know when. But it is something. I had my swimsuit shoot, and I didn't want to have all the hormones
that's so
injected.
valid. They make you like a few
bloating.
months pregnant.
Yes. So I didn't want, you know, I wanted to, I have to get those done. I have 2 more drops, and then we'll see. But yeah, it's something that I'm definitely considering because we're not trying right now.
Right. And it's always nice to have that, like,
and maybe I want to have like 7 kids, and I'm, you know, much older. I don't.
You will definitely be moving to Jersey.
I don't. I'll be on a farm somewhere. But I want to have the option, you know.
Right.
And as you get older, it's more difficult, and I just want to have that backup plan if we're lucky enough to have that.
Fair.
So
I want to get into some specific Summer House questions.
Let's go.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, like, do you really not know the cameras are there? Because I just, like, can't comprehend.
Do you feel like everyone else is here right now? Like when you're talking to me?
When I'm talking to you, no. But these cameras don't have humans behind them, and they're not following me.
I know, but also the people.
Yeah, but they're my friends.
Exactly. So we're friends.
You feel that way?
Yes. So we know the cameramen and women by name for the most part. We laugh with them. We joke with them. You're not seeing all of that because, you know, they're not adding too much fourth wall stuff. But yeah, they're
really don't.
We always get to know them. We're always friends with them. So it just feels like someone else is sitting in that chair with a camera, and they're laughing along with you, even though they're not supposed to be.
So fascinating.
Or they're crying with you. Like, we're all truly, our crew is absolutely amazing, and we're one big family. So it's so comfortable to just sit and be super honest and open and vulnerable because they're there for you. Like, they're experiencing it all with you. Some of them have been on the show since the first season.
So they are part of that family.
Yeah.
What about in the bedrooms? Like, this is where I can't wrap my head around. Like, when you're like having sex, is it not in your head that like the camera is there? I know it's not going to air.
The surveillance camera?
Yeah.
No, I don't have sex on camera in the house. Okay?
I feel like some people do.
They do, and they're very aware that there's a camera
right?
there. I did my first season, and maybe like second, and I regretted it so much. I was like, if you want to see me have sex, I'm going to charge money for that.
Fair.
Like, I'm going to start an oldie
As
thing.
you
Why
should.
am I putting this out there for free?
No, I think
I should charge people
I
for
feel
this.
like they started doing people dirty a few seasons, like where there were shots being shown that I was like, I feel wildly uncomfortable observing this.
Same. I was like, watching other people do it, I was like, I definitely not even going to kiss my husband on camera. I'm like, this is too much. Don't even touch me, Kyle. Don't look at me.
Go
don't
sleep
breathe
with the
near
banana
me.
in another freaking room,
literally,
or cuddle
like,
less.
Pillow wall. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. I think anyone that does it is now, especially, is fully aware. But yeah, we do not. Okay. We're not intimate in the house during the summer. So fair. So yeah.
In terms of rewatching, do you rewatch?
No. Oh my God, no.
Okay.
Would you like to relive your worst?
I would never.
I have to relive it once when I rewatch it the first time. And do you mean like rewatch the episode?
Like, yes. Like, do you watch?
Oh, I watch. I don't rewatch. Old episodes.
No. I mean, do you watch?
I do watch.
That's what I meant by rewatch, because you lived it. So that's my like initial watch.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So you watch.
So I do watch.
And you watch like live, real time when it comes out.
We get the episode. I don't know if I can say that. Sorry, Brittany. We get the episode like a day or two before.
Okay.
So we do get to see it just to prepare like Instagram posts and social media stuff and whatever. We can sort of get ready for it. Sometimes we have press, so we need to kind of know what happened. So I will watch. Sometimes I fast forward through other people's scenes because I'm like, oh, okay.
But I would fast forward through my own. I'd be like, I can't watch myself.
Well, sometimes I do fast forward through my own. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I looked really good.
Well, you do. Are you fucking kidding? You look so good.
That's me on camera. Incredible.
Amazing. No, your looks are like chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
It's just a stressful thing, which I also just feel like I've given up on. But yeah, I'll watch, just especially to know what other people are saying about me or the drama with other people, to like understand it more. Something that like maybe I gave my input on and now I get to see the other side of it.
And are you watching it with Kyle?
No.
Oh, you watch it separately?
We did in the beginning, and then I'd be like, see how wrong you were? And he's like, no, I was still right. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to relive these fights with you. I don't need to argue with you all over again. I'm going to watch it without you, be in my feelings, and then just like move on, because we already moved on from this.
I was wondering that because it's now like months later.
Yeah.
So you hash it out, you move on, and then it almost like digs the wound back.
So that's why I'm like, we're going to watch it separately.
Okay.
Because I'm not going to get upset with you all over again.
And are you all like texting each other after that? Like whether it's you, Paige, and Sierra being like, are you fucking kidding?
Well, yes.
Or is it like
yes,
texting like, I can't believe you said that to someone else?
No.
Okay.
Because we're never saying mean things about each other. So
no, I don't mean to Paige and Sierra.
Chat,
I mean, I know like, you guys.
Holy fucking shit. Other people will text you after and be like, what the hell? But I've
moved on.
Yeah. I'm like, whatever. Or we'll just deal with it at the reunion.
I love the reunion. And then do you go film confessionals after? Like, when do you film those confessionals?
Now.
Okay.
So like we film.
But how do you remember any of those things?
We talk through it.
Okay.
And yeah, our producers are amazing, and they, they'll ask questions and will help give as much context as possible.
Right. And you have notes in your phone if you're you.
If you're me, I'm like, hold on, what day was that?
I wrote it all down.
But yeah, so we're doing it, sometimes we do it live. Like there's certain things that'll happen that are big enough that they'll be like, okay, we want to bring you in now to get like your real life reaction to the moment. And other stuff is just, where we get to say our fun, witty one-liners. And
I love the confessionals.
Enjoy it.
Paige eats them up.
She's
so quick and
so
good
quick.
at the one-liners. I'm like, where did that come from?
I know.
Do you feel, as we're approaching like this upcoming season, what are your thoughts on how it'll be to watch her and Craig together now that they're not together?
Yeah, I think it'll be like a Lindsay Carl situation again, where you're watching and you didn't, not that we didn't see the signs in the moment with Lindsay and Carl. I think we were all, but you see it in a different perspective.
Yeah.
And I think watching it could be similar to that. Because Kyle was saying that there was a moment where like Paige really opened up to Kyle about her relationship with Craig, and she normally keeps those things really close to the chest. So when she's talking about stuff like that, it's normally, something's going on. So I think there's a lot of things that we'll realize after the fact, like, okay, maybe that was a sign that they were struggling, or maybe it wasn't. We're going to have to see.
We saw last season, and then like in the trailer of this upcoming season, Kyle getting in some fights with some of your friends.
My husband fighting with my friends? No, that's wild. He would never do that.
What is that like for you? Like the worst, I'm sure.
The worst.
Yeah.
The worst. Like, there is nothing that, like, I can't think of something worse than him fighting with my friends like that. Like, I don't even know what to do. I just cry.
Right.
Because I'm like, you are making this so awkward for me, so uncomfortable. You're being an asshole. Your delivery is wrong. Your opinion's wrong. You're wrong. Just shut up and go away.
Yep.
Just leave. No, it's the worst feeling. And this summer, I was like literally physically stuck in the middle of one of the arguments. And I was like, I hate my life.
And does it impact your friendships?
I think to some capacity it has to. I think like deep down, but no, for the most part. Like Paige and I are always able to have conversations about it after the fact and be like, whatever our significant others does not affect our relationship with one another. Mm-hmm. But you know, if she's fighting with Kyle, she's not going to want to like hang out with me and Kyle. She might hang out with me, but like it's not going to, you know, it has to affect it in some way, but it's never affected it enough where I felt like our relationship has ever changed. Mm-hmm. And we always check in with each other when things, you know, when like Craig and Kyle.
I was going to say, because they were also in like a public dispute.
Yes. Paige texted me right away and was like, I love you. Whatever they're going through, like, does not affect me and you. And that meant so much to me.
A girl's girl.
Yep. Truly.
Do you ever see a world of like reconciling?
Yeah.
Thank you. Relationship and friendship with Hannah.
At this point, I would love for us to like be able to just move on and have like full closure, whether we reconcile or not. It left with her saying sorry and me saying okay. And
have you not talked since?
I said congratulations when she got married, and I think I texted her one other time, I think when she broke her arm. But like not having conversations. Right. So no, we haven't spoke to one another, and it makes me sad a lot of the times, but I would love to just have some closure. Again, whether it's for better or for worse, just to know, you know,
where that stands.
Yeah.
Friendship breakups are really hard,
that was
especially when there's not full closure.
Yeah. That was like my first one. And I feel like most of it had to do with Kyle, unfortunately. Yeah. And a part of me feels like as long as I'm with Kyle, Hannah and I may never be able to reconcile. I think that there's a lot of, you know, history between the two of them there. But yeah, I mean, it makes me sad. I love watching them succeed. I love watching Hannah and Paige succeed. Like they're doing so much incredible stuff, and I would love to be there to be able to support them. But I also try to be super respectful that like Hannah and I are not in a good place,
but that also must be confusing.
Place. Yeah,
like that's a hard space to navigate as being very close with Paige and wanting to support. Yeah,
like wanting to go to Giggly Squad stuff, but being respectful. Like if I told Paige I wanted to go, she'd be like, okay, yeah, come. But I also want to be respectful enough to Hannah to be like, I shouldn't just show up at her event having not spoke to her because they're 50-50 in this thing, and that's not the right thing to do.
And the fact that everything is so public that would then take you know, the reins of whatever it is of the show.
And I know that Paige gets that too. I'm never not there because I'm not supportive. It's just, again, more out of respect for Hannah.
That's very fair and valid.
Very foul.
Very foul. Very fair. I have speech impediments. I think it just came out. Very fair, very valid, very respectful. And I'm a giggler, so like I love everything they're doing.
No, the amount of friends that I had there was crazy. Like my whole feed.
I know. I'm so upset I didn't actually get to go.
Squad.
I dropped the ball on that, and that was my fault. Okay.
Well, I know someone if you need to go next time.
Oh, can you get me an in?
Maybe.
I was like trying to get tickets, but I didn't know how to get them.
I might know someone.
Okay. I have a few listener questions.
Yes.
Who is your style inspiration?
I don't have one.
Okay.
When I get
You're
dressed,
kind of mine.
What?
You're one of mine.
That's so nice.
I love the way you dress.
Thank you.
Because it's like the tomboy-esque, which I love.
No, I wear your outfit right now.
We can swap.
Except
I have to return these jeans. So I can't swap.
These are not my shoes.
I love them.
I also have to return these. No, I think when I get dressed, it's all about like feeling comfortable for me.
Same.
And it's like physically and like emotionally comfortable. Like I want to put clothes on and not feel like I'm constantly having to adjust it to make sure it looks good. So as long as it like lays right and I feel like it's flattering and I'm not like itchy or whatever, I'm like, okay, this works for me.
How do you pack for Summer House? Like, what's that
I pack
process?
everything.
And you leave it there?
Yes. Well, because for a really long time I worked in corporate. I worked for L'Occitane.
Right, so it was different.
So my clothes were different. So I was able to bring out all like my summer cute, fun clothes to the Hamptons, leave it there, and I'd have a whole other wardrobe.
That's what I used to do at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah. We all. You can't wear what you wear to the Jersey Shore to work.
Sure cannot. Show up to JP Morgan in ripped jorts and a like cropped tank.
Oh my God, no. Little cute crop set.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now I bring out a good amount of stuff that I know that I'm not probably going to wear during the week. And then I have a suitcase that I bring back and forth of like specific outfits for events and essentials and clothes that I know that I'll want to wear during the week.
Another listener question: has being on reality TV impacted your personal self-esteem?
For sure. I think that I was really hard on myself for a really long time, and it's still difficult, you know, especially when I was going through the weight loss, having people like comment so many opinions. And now when I always see people being like, are you pregnant? She must be pregnant. I'm like, in what world should we be commenting this, people? Like, how can I be like too thin for you but also pregnant at the same time?
It's the Barbie speech.
Yeah. So that was really difficult. But again, seeing Sierra and Paige just exude confidence all the time and be so secure in who they are has been a really, really impactful on me. Yeah. So I think that my confidence has built up a lot. I used to be extremely insecure.
Really?
Extremely. Oh yeah.
Even like in high school, you were like the hottest girl.
I always felt like the duff.
Interesting.
Like the friend nobody liked.
What?
Yeah.
I thought of you as like the hottest bitch of the 9.
It's very kind of you.
Wait, I'm looking at you now. When did you take out your nose ring?
You are the second person who has ever noticed that. I took it out like 3 weeks ago. One follower DM'd me, and you're the only. I was with my parents and my brother and his fiance.
I'm only just now noticing it.
And they didn't say anything to me.
When did you take it out and why?
3 weeks ago. I just woke up one day and I was like,
we're done.
I'm over it.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you for noticing.
You're so welcome.
Literally, my own parents didn't notice.
Did Kyle notice?
Well, he was there and I took it out.
Okay,
I think he has the video of
it. He
probably
probably wouldn't have otherwise, honestly.
And Katie was there too, which is the only reason she
Oh, were you on vacation?
Yes.
I know. I loved the look of that trip. Favorite snack when you have the munchies?
Oh my gosh. I'm like I think I'm a salty snacker. So I love like crunchy Cheetos or cheese and crackers. I just love to heat up leftovers.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like it's something about.
You would do like something hot.
Yeah.
Mine has to be cold.
Really?
Yeah, like I want like
pasta and like meatballs.
I like a bowl of ice cream or like something really cold, that like sensation. I don't know.
I like crunchy and warm and yeah.
Are you guys allowed to say on the show when you're high?
I don't know why it's like a weird thing.
Because I feel like it's never been mentioned, but it's kind of like there was one thing of you and Paige doing the like like you know that TikTok thing. Do you know exactly what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like it was so obvious. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was never like stated.
No, I mean it's legal in New York, so I don't know why it's a thing. We're able to like drink alcohol and be blackout drunk.
Right.
But, like God forbid we're happy and high.
Yeah. God forbid.
But it's normally at night, you know, because it is my job still.
Right.
So, and me high, I just like don't want to do anything. I'm not a type A at all. I'm very much so like sunk in my couch. Don't talk to me. So it's normally at night when we're in bed,
right? Like post
and gossiping,
coming home.
Yeah.
Who's your dream blunt rotation?
Oh my gosh, that is such a hard question.
It's so hard.
You know that Natalie girl on TikTok?
Wait, I'm obsessed with her. We DM. I love her.
Okay, the three of us.
Wait,
Let's
she
go.
posted a video of her getting high and doing my coloring affirmation book.
Really?
And I was like, you have no idea how much this means to me because that's what I do at night.
People keep like tagging her. I did like one TikTok video where I like blew out smoke because like
I saw it. It was great.
I'm like too straight edge to smoke, and I've been smoking since high school.
Shocked how long you held that in.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs. But take the magic pill for your
Yes.
depression and make sure you get a blunt.
Yes. Joints
No,
every
but you
night.
actually held that in so long in that video. I was
Okay,
really impressed.
I got so high after that video because the amount of times I
You
tried
did it?
to film that, and
Like
every
your
other
full lip
time I was like
color?
holding it in and like mouthing the words and then breathing it
Yeah.
out, and I kept messing up the moves. So the last time I just had to keep it in my mouth and not fully inhale. Which
I was so
difficult.
impressed.
Kyle came home and he's like, "I've never seen you so high in my life." I'm like, I gotta go to bed.
I was filming a TikTok. It was all for work.
He's like, dude, why'd you get so high? I'm like, I was doing
Yes.
a dance, okay? And
No,
he
I
watched
love
it. He's like,
her.
that's it.
It was impressive. It was really impressive. I love
Thank
her
you.
so much.
But yes, so the three of us, let's go.
Okay. We actually have talked about me and her having her come on the show, but being really high, the two of us.
I was thinking we could drink a Loverboy through this, but I was like, you know, it's a little too early in the
Well,
day.
honestly, I didn't drive to the train, so we could have. And I'm about to bring out Flowerboy for the next thing, so get ready. And trust me, I mean, yes, I'm
Flowerboy
going
is the
home to my
only-
children,
yes.
but
But
we're having family. It's Friday family night, so
Yeah,
we
so
go
it's
to our
fine.
friend's house and we like have dinner and watch a movie. So we're so good. I want to play Truth or Sip. So let
Okay.
me get the Flowerboy that I brought, even though you brought some.
I know, I love that.
You can either tell the truth
Okay.
or take a sip of your Flowerboy.
Okay.
Have you ever lied in a confessional?
I have no idea. Probably.
Okay.
Well,
Well, we can still sip. Who's the best and worst dressed in the house?
oh my gosh. Worst dress is Kyle. I have to dress him all the time. And that's not like an easy out because he is my husband. Like,
Yeah.
we question his outfits constantly.
Not Carl's white pants.
Carl has really upped his game.
Okay.
His pants are a lot looser. He's
I
dressing a lot swaggier.
I can't.
Okay.
Because I rewatched all of the seasons. Like, you know what I
No,
mean?
his-
Like when
yeah.
you're watching them
His
back, like
tight
some
white
of the
pants.
millennial girls dressing and then some of the white pants. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
No, they all loved their white. He always wore white
Yes,
white pants.
always.
Best dressed. All the girls have like such individual style.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say, but I mean, Paige has like the best closet.
I mean, it's impeccable. You would be mine.
Thank you.
Because I could see myself wearing your stuff. I
Yeah.
can't see myself wearing everyone's.
Yeah.
Who is the most famous celeb that has ever slid into your DMs?
Rihanna.
Shut the fuck up.
No one has ever asked me this. Rihanna did.
Tell
and
us
I was
everything.
so afraid and depressed that I didn't respond.
Oh, Amanda. Are you kidding?
I swear to God. She said, "You're my fave TBH."
And you didn't respond?
I finally responded. I said, like, "I love you, Queen," with like an umbrella emoji.
Did she answer or read it?
No, because I think it was like a year later.
Oh, that's like the worst thing depression has cost you, honestly.
No, it was so bad. I was like so overwhelmed. I was like, what do I say?
Oh my God. Okay, are there others?
You know Renee Rapp?
Yeah.
So we're close.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
She's one of my, I love her. I'm
Lucy's
with her.
obsessed with her. Lucy saw her, I think didn't she go on tour?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lucy went to her concert.
Yeah.
She like loves her.
Those are
Wow.
my two.
Has anyone ever hit on you in your DMs? Like a celebrity, not a
No,
regular
no.
male.
No,
Okay.
there's a lot of old men though.
Oh, ugh.
And some girlies. We
Okay.
love that.
Oh, love that. Have you ever asked for something to be cut from the show?
Never. We can't.
Would you even be able to? No.
No, we have no control over how the show's. If we had control over how the show's edited, there's so many things I would ask them not to
So
air.
true. So, I mean,
Including all
even
the cheating scandals
Right.
and all the fights and like that's what people don't get. They're like they can like ask for things to be removed. I'm like, don't you think we'd ask for half the shit that aired to be removed if we had that power?
I know when I texted you going into this and I was like, do you know, like, what to expect? You're like, I can tell you what I said and what I did, but I don't know what's airing. I'm like, that's crazy.
No, the girls that are like helping with the swim line are like, can you let us know what episodes you talk about the swim in? I'm like, I have no idea.
context. Wow.
I have no idea I don't even know if they're gonna show it.
Right. Wait, this isn't a truth or sip, but I
Okay.
meant to ask, do your parents watch the show?
My dad does not. He doesn't even watch reality TV. My mom, I know she used to for sure. I feel like they don't as much now because I think when they sit down to watch TV, they're watching like Yellowstone together.
Yeah, great show. Who is the most different off camera versus on camera? Okay. What's something that happened on Summer House that you're glad never made it to air? Is there anything?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get that off camera. Which castmate would you choose to be stuck on a deserted island with? I don't think it would be Kyle, but it can't be Kyle.
Okay. I'm like, would it be my husband?
I know.
The fact that I had to think about if it would be Kyle or not. Lindsay Dale Hubbard.
Did not see that coming.
ROTC, like that girl.
She's ROTC?
Yes. Like she would protect me. She would take care of me. She would be the hunter, the gatherer.
She's a fighter.
I would literally I'd be like, what, you want me to rub your feet? I'll do whatever you need as long as you help me survive.
Okay. Who do you think has changed the most since their first season, for better or worse?
For better, Carl.
Okay.
Carl has made I'm so proud of him. I was just with him for his birthday and he could not be more comfortable and confident in like who he is today. It's so amazing to see. For worse,
okay. If you had to be a personal assistant to one castmate for a month, who would be the easiest and who would be the biggest nightmare?
Oh my God. Biggest nightmare. I love you so much, Sierra. But
really?
I think she'll like have people come over to wake her up. Like her assistants are like her best friends and I can't even take care of myself. Okay. So like if I had to wake up to wake her up, it would be a hard no. The best, honestly, probably Paige, because I just want to like be a part of everything that she does. Her life is so interesting.
Literally same.
Like she does so much stuff that we have no idea about until it comes out, and I'm like, you are an amazing, incredible person.
Even just like the lore of her of like being a limited 2 model, like still gets me.
And on like the cover of not like books from when we were younger,
right?
Like, just so many random things.
It's random and incredible.
No, she's lived like multiple lives.
Do you think Kyle is a good DJ?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I hate I hate to say it. His family on both sides is so musically talented that like it comes so naturally to him. Okay. And now his nephew is getting into DJing, and they just DJ'd like that LA event that they did where they were raising money.
Oh yeah, City Winery.
He crushed. He's like, he's of age. No, he's
not.
He's like 17 years old. No, but they're just like so good. And now Jonah's like mixing his own music, and they're just yeah, it just comes so naturally.
Do you enjoy the DJ career?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not sign up to be a wife of a DJ his sets don't start till 1 a.m. and I have to be like on stage like.
Would you have to be?
He wants me to.
No.
I was like, this is something that you chose
that's his
to
project.
do. Yeah. I was like, I wasn't in the club before you were a DJ. I'm not going to the club now.
It's so valid.
Yeah. Not at 3 a.m.
I mean,
I'm home.
I'm in my like 5th REM cycle. Midnight. I need to be home by
Max.
like 9.
Yeah. But like if I'm going to go, I'll give him till midnight. But if your set doesn't start till 1, I'm not going.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Not that I was invited. I'm out. Actually, I did see him DJ at the party.
Oh, yeah.
And he was good, but like I'm not saying
no. He's playing on Valentine's Day.
Oh, how sweet of him.
He asked me first, and now he's like begging me to go, and I'm like, no.
Let me tell you though,
spending Valentine's Day on stage watching you DJ, being like,
no, it's my husband. The man ages backwards.
It's ridiculous.
I know I told you this when we were together, but like I looked at him and I was like, you look 15.
It's so ridiculous. That's why when I met him, I thought he was so much younger than he was, because we're 9 years apart. Right. And I was like, I think my jaw literally was like,
no, he looks so young, but younger now than he did.
Yeah, no, and he doesn't
10 years ago.
Anything.
That was my next question. Does he have
nothing.
a skincare routine?
He just uses like any extra products that I get like from PR, whatever I have laying around. And he doesn't do anything crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's
wild.
Yeah. He's going to live forever. I told him he's going to have like 3 wives. Not because we got divorced, because I'm going to die way before.
Amanda.
It's inevitable. His grandmother lived to like 100, 101, 102 or something. Wow. Yes.
Okay. I mean, so no, he really does. And the mullet being off, like, gave him back 10 more years.
I was like, I'm attracted to you again.
Yeah. Like, okay, now we don't need to have a pillow for it in between us. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Course.
This was so fun. I love you. You know that.
I know. I love you too.
Where can people support you? And I mean, everyone knows, like, everyone knows where they can support you on Instagram.
At Amanda Batula, at Amanda Batula Swim. Don't talk to me on Twitter because I'm not there. It's a dark place.
Fuck no.
Or whatever it's called.
Are you on TikTok?
Yes. Yeah. Amanda Batula.
Doing joint dances.
Yes. Doing just random trends.
And watch Summer House.
Yeah.
It will have premiered by now.
Yeah. On Wednesdays.
So keep watching.
I don't know. I should know what time, but I don't.
I don't know what time either. But there will be a new episode tonight if you're listening to this the day that this episode aired.
You could stream it on Peacock.
Yeah, that I know. That's where I watch it. All right. Thank you.
All right. Love ya.
Love you.